Hello there once again, it's your old pal Locke the Bounty Hunter, and on today's very special episode, we're taking a look at a video from Man Guide. Men are saying no to single mothers. Link is in the description down below. Check out his channel, give him a like and a subscribe. He is truly 100% grade A certified gent. I'm filing the paperwork at gentlemanly headquarters right now. It should take about 8 to 7 business months to get that complete, but that's neither here nor there. Let's not talk about bureaucracy. Let's talk about some of these embarrassing humans. Let's not waste any more time and dive right in, shall we?
Yo.
Oh, this ought to be good.
You'd be like, why are you so dry? Why do you act like you don't give a f? Because you give me no reason to give a f.
Well, the feeling's mutual, sweetheart.
And I'm not even trying to be that that's like heartless or whatever, but honestly, truthfully, I don't need a texting buddy.
Okay.
We're not in high school. I don't need a, hey, what are you doing? Oh, my mom, we just sleep. You want to have a phone call? No.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to talk. In fact, I don't really want to know you. You say you're not in high school, but you're acting like you are in high school. And you look like your crowning achievement throughout your entire life was making the color guard in high school.
I'm grown, pushing 30.
Hold up, you're 30. You're pushing 30 and you're acting like you're a freaking child. Oh God, oh God, brace yourselves, gentlemen and gents.
So if you're not planning dates for me, if you're not taking stress off my plate, if you're not booking me a massage, pay for my nails, doing something for me as a provider male figure would in my life.
Oh, whoa, hold up. Why do we need to be male providers for you? Why? Hold up. Why should men be responsible for your irresponsibility? Why should we pay for your nails? Why should we pay for your massages? You just admitted you're a full-grown woman. You should be paying for that stuff yourself. Never underestimate a woman's ability to emasculate a man when she wants something. Listen to the language that she's using. If you're not a male provider, why should we provide for you? We barely know you. And in fact, you're just being mean to us and demanding that we give you money, and in exchange for what? Access to a sloppy torture chamber of infinite sorrows? It's not worth it to us. And look how you're acting once you find out that we're not willing to pay for it. You start freaking out like you're a child. You say you're almost 30. You look like you're almost 40, but you're acting like you're almost 10. That doesn't really balance itself out, sister.
I'm going to act like I'm going to text you for fun when I'm bored.
Please don't. Don't text us at all.
And then when I'm not texting back and I'm being dry, it's because I'm not bored. I got things to do.
Apparently you don't, because you have enough time to freak out on a camera for a person who's actually trying to get to know you, but you're acting butthurt because he won't give you money. I won't give you money. It's all the way in my wallet. That's where it's going to stay.
I got to book my own flight.
Oh, poor
I got
you.
to take care of my own massage, my own nails, because guess what?
You're an adult. That's why. If you want a massage, if you want your own nails, and if you want to book your own flight, it's called being an adult. You don't get a medal for that, woman. We as men don't. We're actually expected to know that stuff. You don't even get a cookie for that one. They're too valuable to us.
I've been doing it for almost 9 years because y'all can't seem to get it together.
Well, you can't seem to get it the F together either, because you're the one who's screaming in front of a camera over guys who are confused as to why you're not talking to them. So take that for what it is.
My name is Taylor and I approve this message. Don't be fooled by anything I'm about to say. I'm really just joking half the time I ever talk or anything comes out of my mouth.
All right, so it's 100% clear that every single thing that you say moving forward, we need to take with 100% seriousness. Okay, duly noted. Let's do this.
But qualities I look for in a man.
Oh, this ought to be good.
If you are interested, since I'm in my single mingling stage.
We're not.
Number 1, tattoos. Woo! Get in my bed. Get on top of me and caress me.
I'd rather not. Outside of the fact that I'm fairly certain you have 2 out of 7 diseases, but I have never understood the appeal of tattoos myself. And even if I was covered in tats, woman, I am not jumping in your bed. I don't know where that bed has been. Just sounds downright unsettling and incredibly uncomfortable.
That's inappropriate.
So are you.
Number 2, you're a good dad. Ooh, I feel like I'm only into dads nowadays, so sorry. If you don't have a kid, go get one. No, I'm just kidding. Dad,
no, thank you.
Good dad, and you're nice to your baby mama.
All right, woman, let me pose a question to you. Let's say that the baby mama divorced the man strictly to get child support, and you shouldn't be forcing yourself into that aspect of his life. Shame on you.
Respectful. That is key. Number 3, drives a truck.
I can't say I'm surprised.
I drive a truck, so don't let me pull up next to you in your little Honda. I'm kidding. Seriously, not.
No, you're not kidding. You are not kidding. You want the man to drive a very nice, expensive pickup truck or some type of expensive vehicle. You will most definitely judge a man for driving a Honda, and shame on you for that. Hondas are fairly nice, reliable, quality automobiles, and you would know that if you were a fairly reliable, quality person.
Hating on anyone's car, but your car, where's your truck? Number 4, dad bod. I love me a good dad bod. I go to the gym every day and I still will hop on dad bod before 6 packs.
Oh my God, that is such a lie. You're not looking for a dad bod. Come on. At that point, you're just fishing for comments and subs. That's all you're looking for. Let it be known that women will go to great lengths if it means getting an extra sub or 2. Oh, speaking of which, if you wouldn't mind scrolling down, clicking that like and subscribe button, I'd greatly appreciate it.
My favorite thing ever is when a woman follows me and she starts to realize that her man ain't, and then she sends me a message and she's like, oh my God, I just left my 10-year relationship because of you. He was so abusive, mentally, physically, even maybe.
So your favorite thing in the world is the fact that you ruined the lives of people you haven't even met. When you're in a relationship for 10 plus years, there should be a certain foundation of stability right there that can only be broken when harlots like this go online and try to give you reasons to be unhappy. And the reasons why creatures like this will try to give women reasons to be unhappy is because they live incredibly miserable lives. And that's the thing about the Steel Magnolia Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, is that they are absolutely miserable and will not rest until everyone is as miserable or more miserable than them. And then the person who's more miserable will drag the rest of them down to their level because they cannot stand the idea of perfect strangers that they've never met being happier than they are.
I was so miserable. I lost myself. He didn't love me the way that I wanted to be loved.
If you're in a relationship for almost a decade, it's not about love. It is about stability and trust. You're using emotional language to manipulate women to destroy their lives. Shame on you.
You helped me to really understand that. He had me manipulated.
Jeez.
That's quite literally my favorite thing. It's like the best compliment next to "you're such a great mom."
Nobody calls you a great mother. Nobody does that. You want them to call you a great mother because in that diluted sack of rotted meat you call a brain, you've convinced yourself that you're a great mother when all you do is destroy people. You destroy lives. I mean, there are comic book supervillains who should be taking notes right now.
That is the best compliment ever. Okay, so it just tells me, like, I'm out here doing the Lord's work.
The only way that you could be doing the Lord's work is if your Lord is a master fiddler who works in a boiler room.
Okay, by making these women understand that some of these men just ain't.
Or you can just mind your own business.
You don't have to accept bare minimum. I know I made a video like this already, all right? I get it. But like, if you're new here, you're just now seeing this, follow me.
No, thank you.
Because I will make you understand just how little your man actually does. And some of you guys are giving them and yourself excuses because it's comfortable, because you have kids. Keep following. One day, you'll be like, you know what? She's right. I'm done. You'll get your ass up and you'll leave. And then you'll thank me because you're going to live your best life ever. You'll see the happiness that you'll have with him not in your life, and you're going to be like, damn, I wish it had not taken me so long to leave.
Or you could just mind your own business. That's always an option. What business of it is yours to invade the private lives of people you don't even know and tell them to completely destroy their families? And how is that the best compliment you've ever received? Call you a worthless waste of oxygen, but I don't feel like wasting a perfectly good compliment on such a harlot like yourself.
My favorite compliment.
Oh, go to hell.
My favorite compliment ever.
Okay, before I get into the video, I need to point out that that last woman gets a kick out of keeping her friends single.
Misery loves company.
This is what the Sisterhood does. They're like crabs in a bucket, pulling each other down instead of climbing out of the bucket themselves.
The Sisterhood pretends to have each other's backs when in reality it's just like one gigantic episode of Game of Thrones where everyone's just plotting on stabbing each other in the back, but there's really no end game. At least with Brotherhood, if you've got a true brother, you've got a guy who has your back through thick and thin.
Now, here's one of the biggest realizations that the MGTOW philosophy has brought to attention in recent years. It's how much of a liability it is to get involved with a single mother. And what we're seeing are men deciding to refuse to listen to the lies and propaganda and gaslighting of modern feminism. Society tells men they should date single mothers, and that's because society is gynocentric and fully prejudiced towards benefiting women at the expense of men. But luckily, men are refusing to listen and are instead listening to each other, and what we're learning from each other is that the negatives of dating a single mother far outweigh the positives.
Being a single mom is so lonely. Like, it's so hard to date, first of all.
You don't say.
Being a single mom, I'm in the military, so I don't have my family here to help me with my kids. And my kids' dad only does the bare minimum. He
Define the bare minimum. If you are going to use that term, you must provide an adequate definition. If you are not going to provide an adequate definition for the bare minimum, we're going to assume that your standard of bare minimum is above and beyond what a standard person should do.
only wants them the 4 days out of the month that he has to have them. So I get 4 days a month to myself where I can turn off the part of me that is a mom. Being a mother is actually a huge bonus to who I am because...
All right, so being a mother is a huge bonus to you, and yet you want more time to yourself. Which one is it, lady? It can't be both.
There's just a sense of maturity that we have to have.
You can cut the irony with a samurai sword. There is a sense of maturity that you need to have in order to be a mother, and yet here you are complaining that you are a single mother. You're not mature. No, I take that back. You're about as mature as I am. And all I do is make fun of women's innards on the internet. Think about that for a second.
And men who are like, I would never date a mom right off the bat are already missing out on the fact that...
You're right. We are missing out. We're missing out on extra bills. We're missing out on extra headaches. And we're missing out on your entitlement to our resources to take care of your irresponsibility. Yeah. Man, oh man, we sure are missing out.
Mothers just come with like a level of seriousness.
Exactly. And that's why we don't want you. That is exactly it. If only you could actually hear yourself talk right now. You come with a level of seriousness that's way too much for the average guy. Why in the hell would we subject ourselves to that? Why? You are looking for a meal ticket. Get it straight.
And if we're trying to give you our time and attention, that's because we're serious about you.
No, that is not true. You are not serious about us. You're serious about our wallets. You're looking for a live-in babysitter. That's what you're looking for. You are looking for a guy who makes a whole bunch of money to watch your kids for you.
There won't be any games? You wanting to have a man at this stage in your life when you rejected countless good men in your hoe phase is all a game. I feel sorry for any simp who falls for this BS, to be honest. The downsides of dating a single mother are almost too numerous to count. I just can't understand why any guy without kids of his own would ever even try it.
Being a simp makes you stupid. That's pretty much the long and the short of it. If you are a simp, you will go to extreme measures if it means not being alone. I'm just throwing that out there.
I understand the appeal of blending your family if you're a single dad, but raising another man's kid? That's another story. And what about dealing with the drama, being second fiddle to her past life, and with how fickle people are these days with relationships and marriage, what exactly is the upside? There are so many women that are single and have no kids, but...
And they're also over the age of 30, so they can't have kids either.
Men consistently choose single mothers instead. I would love to ask some of these men, what exactly makes the single mom seem like a good or better choice? The truth is, there are many single, lonely, and desperate men in this world. Tons of simps who would rather be a slave to a single mother and her children than go his own way and live his own life.
Loneliness makes men do stupid things. This is 100% true. If a man is lonely and all that's available is a single mom, you would actually be surprised what he's willing to put up with if it means not being lonely anymore.
Many single women look for a beta bob provider who will never stand up to her and will mouth and do as he's told. And these are the kinds of men who consistently get into relationships with single mothers. Men who believe they can't do any better, so they are willing to trade their self-respect in exchange for a single mother.
Well, if you're a simp, you don't have any self-respect. I hate to say it, it does sound kind of mean, but simps don't have any respect for themselves. That's why they're simps. Now, I am living in a glass house on this one. I was a former simp myself, so I am not judging. It's only once you start getting respect for yourself and realizing that you have worth do you start standing up for yourself. Simps, it's hard for a simp to do that.
My thing, I really think that people need to know, even with dating people with children, is the misconception that you're gonna be the father.
Exactly. You're not the father. That's not going to stop you from expecting the man to pay for your children, to buy them food and to pay their bills and to make sure there's a college fund for them. And he's getting virtually next to nothing in return, except maybe for some awkward bedroom fun once a month where you show the minimum amount of enthusiasm.
I think a lot of people think, oh, when you're dating me, now you're my child's father. Like, I want you to play the role of dad.
No, you want him to play the role of the ATM.
To my daughter. And I think that a lot of people feel that pressure, like, I don't want to go into this dating dynamic because now I feel like I'm going to be either you're going to play mom or you're going to play dad. And I think that's one thing I want to make sure we say is like,
there's levels to this.
Woman, let me ask you a question. Why should a man pay for your mistakes? Why should a man be on the hook to be financially responsible for your children when they're not even his? And you're trying to make it a consolation like, oh no, you won't be the father. Well, that won't stop you from demanding our money and our time. You're going to expect us to babysit those kids. You're going to expect us to drive them around, to pay for their school supplies. You're going to expect a lot from us and we will get next to nothing in return.
You more like an uncle. Really? You like an uncle?
No, uncles have fun. Uncles get to give the kids back at the end of the day. It's not the same thing.
You're like the cool uncle that comes through every once in a while. She got a daddy.
And here's one thing a lot of men forget. If you really end up liking the kid, and later you end up having a breakup with the mom, it could be a double heartbreak. You started to feel like the kid's dad, but suddenly they're just gone from your life. And obviously, you don't get visitation with the kid once it's over. It's a big emotional risk to get attached to a kid you'd have no rights to ever see again after a breakup.
And nobody ever takes the kid into account when we talk about this kind of stuff. Let's say the kid gets attached to the guy and all of a sudden they break up. That kid is already in a messed up situation with a single mom. That kid is not being raised right. And let's say that a good man enters that kid's life and is showing them the way and is really trusting this guy, only for the mom to say, oh, Chad's available, out the door you go. That is going to mess up the kid. That kid is just going to have an even harder time. And that is just unfair.
And we aren't even talking about the emotional manipulation strategies a lot of women use. If you get attached to her child, she could also use the child against you after the breakup, causing even more emotional damage.
Sad but true.
One truth that women consistently deny, but we all know is true, is that many single mothers are not interested in getting into a relationship. A lot of single mothers do not care about you and will never develop authentic, genuine feelings for you.
It's because you're not Chad. She will never respect you.
What many of these women want is a bailout. They've spent an entire lifetime making terrible choices, banging countless Chads and racking up crazy body counts. And now that she's been pumped and dumped and left on her own, she's looking for a nice guy, people-pleasing provider man to come in and pay for everything.
A single mother is cold Chinese food. Now, here's the thing. When you get actual like fresh Chinese takeout, it's like the greatest thing ever, but you can't eat all of it. So of course, naturally, what do? You put it in the fridge. Now imagine for a second that Chad is the one getting the hot, fresh takeout. And then when Chad's done, it gets thrown in the fridge. It gets to you and it is just cold and soggy and hard, and you throw it in the microwave to try to warm it up, but it's just not the same. It doesn't taste as good. It doesn't work. It's just not good, and there's nothing you can do to make it as great as it was when it first arrived. Single mothers are cold Chinese food. It's kind of gross, but so is the truth.
She's not interested in love. She's interested in your money.
Cha-ching.
And in one way, I can't blame her, because if she has a child, then that child will obviously be the #1 priority in her life. She wants structure, safety, and stability for her child. My biggest issue is that most of these women are more than willing to straight up lie about it. These women will act as though they really love you, but when the chips are down or when you lose your money, she will drop you like a bad habit. And you will not only lose her, but will also lose the child who you spend time getting close to.
Sad but
and
true.
for those people out there who claim that women don't use men for money in this way, let's listen to a man who has a crazy story to tell. First date, she ordered a lot of food. Find out the extra food she was bringing home to her kids for dinner and expected me to pay for it. Second date, she tried the same thing. When she went to the bathroom before our food arrived, I paid for my meal and left. As far as I'm concerned, she had nothing to complain about since she got to bring mine home to her kids.
Here's my question. The first date, you take this woman out to dinner and she orders a whole bunch of food for you to give to her kids, and yet you still took her out on a second date? Unless the two of you were making stains in the back of your shaggin' wagon, I cannot imagine a situation where you could justify taking this woman out on a second date when she already made it clear she was using you for food.
She called me, pissed off I ditched her with the bill. I pointed out I paid for my food and it was fucked up she was making me pay for her kids who weren't there and who I never met. More arguing and I told her to lose my number and hung up. I got harassing texts and phone calls for a little over a month from her and her friends about how much of a piece of shit I was. Never again.
Again, this is just another risk that men have to take when it comes to dating in general. If a woman doesn't like the fact that you didn't do something, she will release the hellhounds on you. She will have her friends and her family harass you with these over-emotionalized, out-of-context stories and convince them that you are evil because you didn't feel like paying the extra money for her dinner.
This woman clearly tried to use a man as an ATM. She didn't discuss beforehand that she expected him to pay for her children who he hasn't met yet.
Because if she mentioned it, he wouldn't have gone out with her.
That is some cold and sneaky bullshit. She was fully planning to drop this bombshell on him when the check came around. But respect to this man for having the boundaries and balls to know what was going on and to walk away from it.
It only took him 2 tries.
What a boss move. He literally paid for his own food and walked out of the restaurant. I salute this man.
Damn,
He's a
good for him.
shining example of what we can aspire to be. And what happened afterwards? The same thing that happens anytime a man decides to lay some boundaries down. Female aggression, manipulation attempts, and attacks from the sisterhood. It's like these women are part of a hive mind.
That's because they are. That's one thing that you can count on when it comes to the sisterhood is the sheer amount of toxic negativity they harbor. When they can't unleash it on anybody, they unleash it on each other. I have absolutely no idea how exhausting it must be to exist within the sisterhood.
When you uncover and expose some of the games they play, it benefits all of them to attack you for it.
But I really don't understand how a single mom with a 1-income household is supposed to survive right now.
You're not. To have a family in the Western world, it's a dual income household. That's what it's going to take. You can thank feminism for that, by the way, but you won't. You're just going to blame men for not stepping up to give you money.
I don't understand why all these average men are out here single when they could be coupled up helping you pay the bills, but they weren't good enough, were they? I bet they are now.
With all this inflation, high gas prices, high food prices, it's going to get worse and worse and worse.
Which you voted for.
A lot of ladies, even some single mothers, turn down a good, hard-working man, and they view him too average because they want these high-earning men. They don't want to work and build with a man. And now that all this is going on, all of a sudden say, where they at? Well, now these men are having the last laugh. And I don't think no men should come to their rescue at all.
Nope.
If you got an opportunity to get a good, hardworking man that's decent, get it. Don't pass him up. Stop acting entitled.
You will always be a second priority in her mind. I'm not blaming women for this. I'm just telling it like it is. When her child is her #1 priority, she will happily drop your plans together for childcare or other responsibilities. If you have a disagreement or need to lay some boundaries down with the child, the vast majority of the time she will side with the child against you. I cannot understand why a man will openly invite this level of drama into his life when there are plenty of single women out there.
It's because the single women want nothing to do with them. And a lot of lonely men who don't have much respect for themselves will go with the single mother if it means not having to sleep alone. It's a sad truth. Some men just get lonely to the point where they're willing to make the compromise of having to pay for someone else's kid.
Admittedly, the majority of modern women are broken, but it beats being in a relationship with a single mother any day.
Oh, God.
Hi, guys.
What do you got for me?
I wanted to come on here and do a little single mom dating thing.
Okay.
So, anyways, I don't know what's wrong with the whole millennial Gen Z generation, but
Well, for starters, is you're taking fashion advice from them. You look like a millennial prostitute. Just look at you. Why are you dressed like that? Why are you wearing makeup like that? Why are you about to talk about our dating practices? We don't have dating practices. We were rejected years ago. Good God, woman.
it sucks. Hi. I'm 28, a single mom.
You're 28? You look like you're 42. What the hell? What have you done to yourself? Good Lord.
Just divorced, and this dating pool is like not it. I've been stood up on dates. I've been canceled on last minute
I'm not surprised. I am unsurprised.
after finding someone to watch my kid, and I don't get it. Like, where's the real people that want a relationship?
We're over at Skeeter's house. We're figuring out a way to combine ultimate frisbee with dodgeball. But on a serious note, what do you expect? Look at you. How can you possibly look in the mirror and think that any self-respecting man who wants a relationship would want to be with you? You look like a rejected groupie for Motley Crue back in 2007.
And actually wanted to respect women, because I'm not finding any of that.
Because you are not worthy of respect. Respect has to be earned, and you are a single mother looking for a meal ticket. I'm sorry, but there are prostitutes who are entitled to more respect.
I'm in Central Florida, so if you know anyone, let me know.
Thanks for checking out today's video, gentlemen and gents. As always, if you find that this particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down, click that like and subscribe button, and ring the notification bell so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Special shout out again to Mankind. Thank you as always for the awesome content. Truly, you are a certified gent, good sir. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, and until next time, peace out, homies.